Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to have a very unusual, this is going to be an unusual video as I rant. I'm going to be a rant, it's going to be a ranting video, which I normally try not to do because I'm essentially a positive person. Uh, I've been thinking a lot about the Rider Waite Smith deck. And I think it's a fine deck. Artistically, I think it's very interesting. It's iconic. It's been around for 110 years, so it's been around for a while. But I find it, well, there are a lot of problems with it. And one of the things I'm going to bring up, I'm going to go over through the suit of wands. And this is just one suit that I'm going to go over. And I have problems with other suits and other things, but we're just going to go over the wand suit. And I'll show you some of the things what I mean as far as what's going on with this deck. Now, everything is a product of its culture, and you can't take people out of their culture. This was done 110 years ago. It was at different times. It wasn't the United States. It was in England. It was during the Victorian times. So there's a lot. It was before World War II, World War One. It was the industrial era. There were a lot of things that were very different than they are now. There was no YouTube or information. It wasn't the information age, although it was the industrial age. Anyways, so it's an interesting deck for a lot of reasons. I don't know anything about Mr. Arthur Waite, but I do know that Pamela Smith Coleman did the pictures, and just like I think there was a Lady Harris did the Toth. These guys find these women to do these decks, but they're telling them what to put down and what to do, but it's whatever. So, anyways, that's a whole other story. So what I want to do is just go over the wand suit. Now the wands are fire, they're inspiration, they're growth, it's exciting, it's passion, it's a lot of things, and that's good. Inspiration, passion, sex, sparks, flames, activity, and so that's a wonderful thing. Without that, where would we be without this creative energy? And that's what the wands portray, the creative energy. But let me just go through this briefly. And let's talk about the creative energy of the wand suit. So here's the hand of God giving the wand, the staff, or whatever they call it, the branch, to us. That's what this is about, the hand of God. This comes to the hand of God. And here we have a gentleman, nicely dressed, ready to go, and he's on this precipice. He's got the globe in his hand. He's got the two staffs beside him, the two wands beside him. He's thinking of something that he's going to do. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be fantastic, because he's got a thought. He's got a something in mind, and it's exciting. So we turn to the next card. Now, if you want to read the cards as a story, this is where I'm coming from, because people say you should be able to read these cards from a story angle. So let's go. So then we go to 3. And what does the card tell us? Well, the card shows us he's not doing anything. He's still there. He's looking out. Now he has 3 staffs. Now he's got 3 ideas, three passions in his life. But he's not really doing anything. So I'm not sure what he's doing with all this creative energy. Not much. So what happens next? Doesn't matter that he doesn't do anything, because he's going to celebrate anyway. So he's had some ideas. He had 1 idea, and then he had 2, 3 ideas, and now he's so happy with himself, he's going to have a celebration. So he hasn't done anything yet, but he's going to have a celebration. Okay, so he has a celebration, and then what happens? Then he gets into a sparring, a jousting match with other people, other men. And I'm thinking, maybe they had some drinks here at the celebration, and then they got into a fight. And not a serious fight, a jousting. It was just normal stuff. How else can you explain a celebration to this? There's something missing here. But it could be explained if they were drinking. If they were drinking, then this makes sense. Okay, so we're going to go along with the story. So he had a celebration. He had some good thoughts. He had some ideas. He celebrated those ideas. And then he gets into like a playful match with his buddies. So then what happens? He celebrates again. Okay, so he celebrated here. He got in a jousting match with his friends, and then he celebrated again. Now, he's not doing anything. He's not inventing anything. He's not doing anything creative. He's just having a party and then getting into fights. And I said fights because the next card after this is another battle. Okay, so he gets into another celebration and another battle. Only this time it's more serious. There's more people against him. It doesn't look so friendly. It's a little more serious. So he goes from a celebration to another fight. And what happens after that? The fight becomes more intense. It isn't just jousting anymore. It's a fight, and it gets a lot more intense. So intense that he gets wounded. And he's still not doing anything creative, inspirational. There's nothing, no inventions happening here. He's sort of devolving. So now he's at close to the end of the suit, which 1 through 10 is what I'm talking about mostly. And he's wounded and just kind of standing there. Not much is going on. So at the very end of his trials and tribulation, he goes home he takes all his toys and he goes home. And he carries them all. He carries all the ideas that he has, and he goes home. So, I mean, that's what's happening here. Essentially nothing's happening. How did this man become this man? I mean, where did he go wrong? This one, inactivity? Maybe the celebration? Maybe he was celebrating too much? I don't know. Then he celebrated again, and then things got out of hand, and then he got more fights and more vicious, and then he got wounded, and then he goes home. There is the court cards, but I'm not really talking about those. I'm just talking about this suit. It doesn't really make sense to me. Because it's such a wonderful idea for a suit. The wands, the fire, the flame, the inspiration, the passion. And we see passion, passion that doesn't really go anywhere except for fighting and celebrating and maybe drinking. But this person here doesn't seem to go anywhere. He starts to devolving right away at the 3s. And then it sort of goes into like a strange area. You'll also note there's no women in this situation. There's this, and there's a man, and then there's a man, and then there's and more men, and there's a man, and then here's a guy. Oh, yeah, more men. Okay, yeah, Now that's a sign at the times, I believe. Although women, especially in the 1900s, early 1900s, I mean, that's the 20s started. The Industrial Revolution had well underway. I mean, women were working. Women were participating in society. So this is kind of, it is a sign of the times, but I don't even know if it's that. It seems kind of reactionary to me, this suit. Now, I did look at the other suits, and maybe I'll give a talk about those in another time. You'll see a few more women in the cups, not very many. The pentacles, I think there's some women in there, but they're the poor people, or they're in a crowd. The only woman that's sort of like a woman man is the one in the 9 of Pentacles. The Suit of Swords has women in it, but they're suffering. And I'm wondering if I had thoughts about the sword suit, and I think it is sort of a man-woman problem in that suit, where the woman and the man are not getting along, and then maybe he goes after her, she goes after him. I don't know. And the cup suit is a little bit better. It's got the 3 women and the 3 of cups. But then again, most of it is the man. I'll do another one on the 3 of cups. It is pretty funny the way I read it. So I don't know what to say. It's, and then I did take a look at a more modern deck, and there was some variance, but not a lot when you're reading with the Rider Waite, which is very popular these days. The Rider Waite. Anyway, so that's my little rant for today. I figured it's Sunday. It's a good day to rant. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day.